Alright, well here's Mickey Mouse going under the resin. Now you get these little rollers. I think I might save this for the fiberglass because it works better on the fiberglass because you can push it around and get air bubbles out. I think what I'm going to use on this is an actual brush. So I'll be right back. So basically you just put it on there super thick because you're going to roll it all out, brush it all out, whatever you're going to do. And you just want to go to town with it. And don't get it all over your toe like I just did. You know what? Grab that roller. We're going to go roller. Now everything you see me using, if you guys know where rock paint is, you can get all of this from rock paint. The rollers and this little roller handle you can get from Make Man in any hardware store. But all the fiberglass resin in that big can I got there came from rock paint. And we don't be scared to go in there. The woman that works in there, she speaks pretty good English. Even if you wanted to paint, she would teach you, tell you the mix ratio of paint too. So it's like, don't be afraid to go in there. As you tell, I forgot to put the tape on it, but I'll deal with that. We almost made a big boo-boo too. We almost forgot to wrap the tire in plastic while ago. So that would have been a funny thing to try to get off later. But now, this is why you use fleece, because right here there's nothing supporting that. So you brush this on there, and I mixed this super hot, so I'm hoping that it'll set up quicker than even with the batch I had yesterday. And like I said, the fleece is just here to make your pattern, because now that I'm building a sub box, it's going to have fiberglass put on it. Now I know there's people out there, oh, build your speaker pods, you need to put fiberglass on it too. Correct. If you're going to use a big bass speaker, you know, you see some of these dudes, they're building speaker doors with 8s in them and stuff like that, then yeah, or they're trying to produce some good amount of bass and then some mid bass out of those too. But the door pods that are in my Surf, they have no fiberglass on them at all. It's just all resin. And then went back with that kitty hair, that thick body filler we put over it. Is where I got most of its strength from. The only reason I put that on there is to get it super smooth. Because I did my first wrap job with it, which sucked. The material I used is already coming off. That's why I just rather spend the time and get a nice look and just paint it. Yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but it lasts longer. I mean, I'm sure the other stuff lasts long too if I knew how to do it. It's not a technique or a process I want to learn right now. And you just keep working this on until it gets super even all the way around. And you can tell when you get into this white stuff that you got more than enough on it. Because you see how it turns black? That means it's soaked all the way through it. It's actually soaked on the plastic bag. Like I said, there's better videos on YouTube. This is like my first ever trying to videotape what I'm doing. So I'm sure it sucks. My commentation sucks. People's probably laughing at me right now from the other videos I've already posted. But hey, that's cool. I'm old enough to take the ridicule and the constructive criticism. So, you know, people out there, see something that they do different or ever done this, let me know. This is where the first batch of messed me up, where it soaked all the way around and went down into the bottom, and it was kind of a pain in the butt to get off. Yeah, try not to waste it. I'm missing my cup. Now you could technically soak this like this and go ahead and put a layer of fiberglass on it, but I want to try to control the layers fiberglass when I go piecing it together. And I like to have more control over it and do it like I did the other side, when this side's set up to the point to where you can move the fiberglass around, get it in its final position before you start putting resin on it. Because if you lay it on here now, it sticks and makes a big mess when you try to move it. Now you see where it's getting in there pretty good. You can start seeing the groove, the tread on the tire. Those lines, that's the actual tread design of the tire. That means it's getting soaked in there pretty good. And that's what you want to see, because that means you know you're getting it all the way soaked in. Now I really haven't measured this to see what the air volume is. I'm hoping it works for 12. I mean, if not, I could just, you know, when people talk about building speaker boxes, oh, I got a box for 12. Well, not all 12s are built and created equally, so they don't work in every box. That another 12 was in. So don't be just going out and buying it. And I know a lot of people bash on pre-made boxes. They're not ideally, but if you know what the air volume is of the box and it matches your speaker, then you can come out with a pretty decent speaker setup because of the air volume that's in it. Because you know that speaker will operate in that pre-made box. And what's wrong with a lot of pre-made boxes? You know, they're particle or MDF, which is nothing wrong with that, but they get wet, they fall apart, so they get a bad name. Good. Get our hopes and dreams up here. Hopefully this starts setting up. I know it's burning the shit out of my leg right now on my toe. And I'm getting high as a kite. Oop, maybe I shouldn't have said that on video. It's actually starting to set up now. I can feel it in the brush. So I'm just going to pour this on. Take the roller. And roll it out. Now what's good about the roller on solid surfaces like this piece of wood is that you know you're squeezing it through the fleece down in there. And hopefully with good luck. And what's under here is MDF. That it'll get stuck to it better than what we did, and that's why I went back and put body filler on the other donut over there. So you know, and I'll show you in the next video on how tight that is already stuck to the piece of fleece. Like you just come around here now, roll this edge of the tire, try to get as much into it as possible. The more resin that soaks through, the stiffer that it is. When you pull it apart or put your other layer of fiberglass on it, it holds that shape. Now if y'all look, stand up Lucas, if you look, that's why I say stretching it is super important, because there's no wrinkles in it at all. None at all. So now when this dries, if I was just going to body fill this, it would take a little thin of body filler, about an hour of sanding, and you could probably get to the point where you can paint it. It wouldn't be show quality, but I think when I paint this, it's going to be black texture paint anyway, so it ain't going to have to be super smooth when it's done. Like if you texture paint over this, it would probably look pretty decent. So that's it. We're going to let it set up and see what happens. Later.